to be, people get freaked out when they're like, how do you turn certain things into ones and zeros? I think Peloton's a great example. It's a 200-year-old stationary bike. Big whoop. Well, what Peloton's done is they have digitized a lot of this service offering. So who's going to hurt? Yes, more people will buy Peloton bikes than stationary bikes, but it's not the stationary bikes here that should be worried, right? What about the gyms, right? What about the traditional ones where we used to have to go there? And now you have all this luxury and all this convenience sitting in your house. You can have world-class gym trainers. You can do real-time with your friend competitions. Like, you have all this stuff happening. And this is all this change we see happening, right? And right now they've done a great job because they've actually still monetized it. So you pay, which is hilarious, you pay Peloton, and then they actually take your data. They're a data company. That's how they make their money, right? So normally what we see in this demonetization phase is why is Instagram and pictures, free all of a sudden? And when it's free, it just means you're the product. They're just taking your data, right? And then eventually it becomes democratized. And once it becomes democratized, it becomes very easy. Once you get an app, which is free to put anywhere, you don't have bank infrastructure systems in a lot of these parts of Africa. I was down in, a bunch of us went and did like Kilimanjaro, and we went and did a bunch of that. And that's how they do all their banking. It's all on mobile phones. It's a free application that sits on your phone. Whereas in the past, where would they store, right, and keep their money? And like, they're almost like ahead of us in a lot of these kind of mobile applications, because you've got this democratized piece and we're seeing it hopefully with good things like education, right? You're seeing more and more of these started as MOOCs, but now all the big schools have kind of figured out if they don't, adapt. And Clayton Christensen is a great gentleman I got to meet. He's like the guy who coined kind of the disruption theory. He's the man. Unfortunately, he passed away, but I got to speak with him a bunch, and he had a really neat one because it was in Canada at the time, and he was helping with the healthcare there because, like the UK, it's not privatized healthcare like in the US right now. But he was saying the fact that is they're not fighting, they're not disrupting themselves. And at the end, he actually said to me, "I'll tell you what." So we were going back and forth and challenging each other. He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll pray for your healthcare if you pray for Harvard," because his argument was the big schools, they sit on enough money right now. But 10, 15, 20 years down the road, if they don't get into this kind of democratized education, or at least online, like getting it to everyone when they want it and need it, he said, eventually they will, it'll be like everything. It'll be disruptive. And then all of a sudden, no one will care about Harvard 20 years from now.